And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we returned. We returned here with the quarterfinals of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, which just featured ShoWTimE taking down his first opponent in the round 16, but now he has a much more terrifying opponent. We have the highest rated Zerg player in the entire tournament facing off against him. Let's go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is a ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the lone Zerg player left in the bracket. It is YoungYakov. Let's go. Let us go. We are here, we are back, we are jumping into our PvZ, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PvZ. Coming into this ShoWTimE is still the favorite player here to go even further in the tournament, but YoungYakov, he is one that can bring him down. He is definitely one that can take it to ShoWTimE on a good day. If he can play the best he can, if he can bring his A game, then he can cause an upset. Let's go. Let us go. For now, Hatchcast full standard opener out of YoungYakov. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE opening up with a gate expand. Everything's looking normal so far, aside from the fact that YoungYakov was forced to take the unnatural natural. So a slightly more awkward setup here for YoungYakov. It's going to be a little bit more awkward, but outside of that, we should be able to settle in. And welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness being one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground, more defendable bases as well, and this often does lead to longer mid-game play. Now, YoungYakov traditionally is an aggressive player. We do see a lot of 3-base all-ins and 3-base play out of YoungYakov. That is what I am leaning towards here on Winter Madness. Muta play is on the table, for sure. Muta play is going to be on the table, but before that, I'm expecting like 3-base play, 4th base just for Lava, Lingbane, Hydra is kind of what I'm leaning towards for YoungYakov, but we'll see. Because it's been a while. It's been a while since we featured too much of YoungYakov. It has been a while. But now though, now we are going to be calming down, going to be settling in. Players are going to be joining, saturating, and soon we can get into our technical choice. Speaking of, that is Stargate open out of ShoWTimE. Stargate into an Oracle is to be expected. We have seen a lot of Void Ray play from players like Hero as of late in PvZ, but Void Ray openers and follow-ups are a little bit more rarer here, and I don't really think that ShoWTimE is one to mix in Void Ray based play. But we'll see. We shall see. A Void Ray is typically designed to high tech and to obscure vision from the Zerg, to keep them guessing. ShoWTimE does dip in. And once again, because of the unnatural natural, ShoWTimE is able to abuse this position in between the bases. Able to take advantage. As the second Adept has arrived, two Adept second one-shot drones. And now we can start to threaten shades. So does threaten the shade into the main. Does commit. He does commit in. He gets 1, he gets 2. Getting up to 3 drone kills, not bad. And looks like, can he get 4? Barely can. 4 drone kills in the end. Not a bad trade. Not a bad trade here by ShoWTimE. Takes down 4 drones. At the same time, YoungYakov now going for his own counterattack. The goal here is to delay the 3rd base. We'll see if he can. 3rd is being thrown down. And ShoWTimE, he keeps his Oracle at home. Yeah, it does keep it at home, playing it safe. Lings to go for the probe, and the probe will fall. So it does delay the expansion. Does delay the setup. As he's hunting for the other probe. Oh, can he get it? He can! Nice pickoff. YoungYakov takes on both workers. Big delay on the 3rd base. Okay. So delays the 3rd even further. Behind this, throwing down spores, getting ready for the counterattack. As he gets a 3rd worker, still no expansion. Yakov, calm down. Very nice moves. Considering that the Oracle stayed at home, like, this is a surprising amount of damage, for sure. It is surprising. 3 probe kills, big delay in the 3rd base. Again, Yakov is droning, saturating, building up his spores, getting the screens in position. Is going to be lair first. Okay, 4:45 at lair timing out of YoungYakov. Going lair first into the Evo chamber. This could be, this looks more like plus on range. Yeah, we have a later roach one here, so relatively safe play out of YoungYakov. Soon though, ShoWTimE will move out. He's got his triple oracle. With 3 oracles, he can ignore spores, he can find some damage. He should be getting across the map. So here comes ShoWTimE's move out. Back at home, a standard follow-up, going for the Twilight Council, Forge, and even a Robo. Okay, a slightly earlier Robo here out of ShoWTimE. I'm leaning towards +1 and Blink, but we'll see if he goes into Charge, which has been more trendy as of late. True. Has been more trendy. Oracle's A1. 1 drone goes down, barely any hull damage. So far so good, and yep, there it is. Charge is on the way. As I mentioned before, as we mentioned coming into this, it has been more trendy, has been more meta as of late over the past month. Over the past, like, what, 3-4 weeks. Has been on the uptick. Meanwhile, Upstate busts into the main. They deal with all the lings, and the drones are exposed. Uh-oh. Yeah, Yakov. Unfortunately, despite having the Roach Warren, he has no Roaches to defend. But Upstate shading towards the 3rd base, and Yakov is being torn apart here. Drones are going down. Yeah, getting into 4 or 5 drone kills. 5 drones go down. Behind this, YoungYakov trying to go into Roach Hydra. Again, skip +1 melee was a later Eva chamber. Yakov is on the way, but taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of losses. Now, the scariest thing about what's going on here is whether or not YoungYakov skips Roach production. He's getting Roach speed, but there's a high chance that he just goes straight into Hydras. If that occurs, this charge timing with Archons as well is going to hit hard and may even break YoungYakov. So he's got to be careful at the moment. He's just trying to re-drone, trying to resaturate, recoup those losses. Lings are spotted here by ShoWTimE. As they will pick off the cannon. Cannon goes down. Nice round here on the Zealots. Charge is now revealed. True. Even getting a pylon. Okay. Nice damage with these Zerglings. And Yakov makes Roaches. So now he's prompted to build up his Roach count, to build up his buffer. We're getting into a longer game stage. Now, coming into this so far, I do favor ShoWTimE's position. He's on 3 bases, 66 workers, and taking up into Storm. Yakov is still recovering, still on a lower drone count. As he attempts to transfer, and he does pick up an Oracle. Okay. There we go, Oracle goes down. Nice pick off out of YoungYakov. And Yakov, he's still not droning. So that transfer, I assumed, was to save his workers. He might just be trying to fake out. He's making it look like he's droning when he's really not. But ShoWTimE, is he taking the bait? He's throwing down some cannons. YoungYakov, he's all in. Yakov, he's all in. 3 base all in. Again, fake saturation as he pulled the workers from his 3rd. The droning is fake back. But ShoWTimE is not expanding. Building on more Immortals. Yakov going for the Cybercore. Cybercore does go down. He got the Storms. Yeah, first one does land. First one lands. Another Storm here, zoning back the Roaches. ShoWTimE is holding. He's holding his own, but he does lose one of the Immortals. Yeah, big overextension. As one Immortal goes down. He needs some kind of buffer here. We need some Warp Ins. ShoWTimE took a 4th. This is greedy. Took a 4th base. ShoWTimE, he may not recognize that he's being all in. As right now we need as many Warp Ins as possible. Oh, I say that YoungYakov, he starts to join, then he starts to tech. He believes he cannot kill. And that means that this 4th base, it was actually a very good call. Very good call. ShoWTimE, he's going to get further ahead. As Yakov is abandoning his all-in. Still trying to rotate, still trying to posture. Nice little run by, gets into the mineral line. And Yakov, he races back home. Yeah, he turns everything back around. Ay, ay, ay. 5 drone kills. And again, these drones, they were late. These drones were late anyway. Late infestation, late droning, late saturation. Yakov is being outscaled. Remember, the soup does lie. Yakov's supply is inflated due to the Roaches. So inflated army supply. Does snipe the Oracle. Again, it's pushing into 5 Immortals. He might get one. He wants it. Yeah, not quite. Fleet Beacon's on the way. That's going to be for the mothership. At the same time, Yakov going for a split push. Stasis goes off. Immortals are in position. And ShoWTimE, he defends his natural. He defends his fourth base. ShoWTimE is all over this. He's all over this. Oh my god. The storms are crazy, Pappy. Storms are landing. Hydra's getting picked up. And again, things are as bleak as they are because of the failed all-in, right? Yakov, he chose not to drone, he chose not to expand, he chose not to tech up. That's why everything here is so late, and that's why there's going to be a window in time where ShoWTimE can counterattack before Yakov is ready with a solid army count, with a solid lurker count. If Yakov can buy some time until he can get into high-tech lurkers, then sure, right? Then he can pop off. But there's already Skytoss on the way. Now, you could argue that the second Stargate is late, true. But ShoWTimE was just playing it safe. So late second Stargate, later Skytoss. But ShoWTimE is still in a commanding position, and here comes the move out. Now, Yakov could maybe settle for a base trade or a counterattack to keep ShoWTimE busy. We'll see. Okay, is almost done. How many immortals do we have? 9! 9 immortals. Should it be 10? It's a lot of immortals. Okay, Hive is done. Vipers are on the way. With the arrival of Vipers and with soon the arrival of Lurkers, again, YoungYakov, he's catching up. He's catching up when it comes to the quality of the army. Here we go. We got 6 Lurkers on the way. Did I say 6? Getting up to 9. 9 Lurkers. ShoWTimE has been taking his time. He's been taking his time. Slowly getting another expansion. He's not pushing. At the same time, I don't really think he needs to. On one hand, yes, Yakov, he's recovering and taking up. That is true. But ShoWTimE is still building up a superior composition with Skytoss. So there's not that much pressure on ShoWTimE to push. Pressure's on Yakov. ShoWTimE is building up more Tempest. There's 5 links of the elite squad. True. Referring to the links that killed the 3 probes at the start of the game. Not wrong, not wrong. Crazy. There you go. Tempest has arrived. Viper's coming in. Does feedback 1. Feedback's all 3. Jesus. All 3 feedbacks. 1 abduction. Tempest survives. Done the Fantaire. And we mentioned this before, right? The soup does lie. One supply is not quite like the other. ShoWTimE has that superior composition. At the same time, Yakov going for the counterattack. And does get one, does it both High Templar. Very nice. Yeah, quick snipes and late reaction by ShoWTimE. No storm. No storms defensively. Speaking of just 0 High Templar in general. No Templars, no storm. Does get the revelation. And where are those Templar? ShoWTimE lost every Templar in both fights. There we go, now warping in. How many are we getting to? 12? 11. Getting to 11 immortals. Has storms, they do land. There's still a couple more storms in the chamber. Just waiting for energy. The army tries to whittle in here, but again, the Tempests are in position. He does get on top of the Nexus at least. And the Nexus is going to go down. Oh, but there's a slow zone. Yeah, there's a slow zone. Lurkers, get out of here. Does waddle away. Yakov going for the counterattack, but again, he runs into 3 Immortals. Yeah, the Immortals do defend. And that was nice damage, and YoungYakov behind this, 18 Corruptors. He's got a Spire, +1 flyer attack, switching into something that can deal with the Skytoss. Switching into Corruptors. So a lot of Corruptors on the way. Now, suddenly I'm concerned for ShoWTimE. The concerning thing here, where's the anti-air? When Corruptors arrive, typically you'd have like 4 or 5 Archons, right? You have a wall of Archons to protect them, but there are no Archons ready here for ShoWTimE. He's been so fixated on the Immortals. And here they come. Yeah, Corruptors, they go for the dive. Parabomb as well. Mothership goes down, and can he reset the Tempest count? He can! Yeah, goes to dive, gets 1, 2, 3, 4, gets all 5 Tempests. Ay, ay, ay. As we mentioned, no anti-air, no Archons. So ShoWTimE's army composition was lacking. We hunt down more Tempest. ShoWTimE losing his entire advantage here. Losing all the Sky Toss. And now he's stuck on the ground. And now is the time for not just Lurkers, for Broodlords. Broodlords can now reign supreme. Greater Spire's on the way. Unfortunately, there's no Greater Spire ready yet, but it's on the way. Cool, as we do bleed out some of those Corruptors. And again, ShoWTimE just tunnel vision a little bit too much. He has to make use of this army. Ideally, he wants to get rid of some of these Immortals. Like, he wants to get rid of like 4 or 5 of these Immortals and replace them with Archons. Or more Sky Tools, of course. Lasting run by, breaks down the expansion. At the same time, ShoWTimE going for the base trade. ShoWTimE, he may lose his 3rd. At the same time, though, he's breaking down the 4th. He's on top of the 4th. Holding onto those storms. Never mind, just going for the drones. His army was a little bit on A move, so some wasted DPS there, taking a little bit longer. ShoWTimE is moving in. And I swear there were some Lurkers, right? There they are. I was like, where are the Lurkers? We're just coming to the base trade. Okay. Lurkers, they keep pushing forward. But ShoWTimE is so much faster when it comes to the base trade. These Immortals, they break down buildings so quickly. How do you defend Broodlords? Yeah, Broodlords are the way to play this out. We have 3 Broodlords morphing in. That might not be enough, though. Getting up to 6 Broodlords. But suddenly, like, can he deal with the Sky Toss? ShoWTimE still has mining. As Prototomic breaks into the natural, the Hive is exposed. Broodlords are revealed. Oh, it doesn't get the Hive. Oh. He does not get the Hive in the end. ShoWTimE is going to recall. Let's get the hell out of here. Hopes not to. Nice Zealot run-bys. Gets 5 drone kills, and ShoWTimE gets out. He gets out. He's building up more Tempests. Jesus. So we've rebuilt 6 Tempests. We got 6 Tempests against 6 Corruptors. Suddenly, the anti-air is not there for YoungYakov. He needs more time. He needs more Corruptors. Lost his spawning pool. Has to rebuild. And you see ShoWTimE bringing the entire army back together. Yeah, and this is a proper death ball this time. Now it's not just Tempest and Immortals and Storm. Now there are Archons. There are 3 Archons as well. Yakov, he cannot keep up. Not against this kind of army. I was curious that the Spire went down. No, he can't make Corruptors. He has no Spire. Oh no. Not like this. Yeah, 6 Corruptors. That's all he has. That's not going to be enough. There's no answer to the Tempest. With abductions. With abductions, and then maybe he can deal with this. And the Templar goes down. Viper's coming in. Oh, yeah, never mind. No detection, no Overseer. Yeah, no Overseer. Mass Cloak does protect the army. Base goes down. And ShoWTimE is moving in. He's moving in. ShoWTimE cannot be stopped. Not anymore. Shout out to YoungYakov for making a game out of this. Like, YoungYakov, he had a very rough early and mid game. Again, after the failed all-in, that was it. But then he was able to catch out all the Tempests. Right? He was able to reset the Tempest count. He had some good moments. But again, he's just run out of steam. He's run out of steam. Abducts 1 Tempest. And he kills 1. Let's go. Kills 1 Tempest. Brutal feedback. The Viper tries to move in. Abducts 1 Tempest. Tempest does get picked up. Oof. And now he commits. And now he just commits. And GG gets called. ShoWTimE takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, a really rough mid-game there for YoungYakov, winding it back. Remember, he cut workers at 66. He went for a 3-base all-in, and the all-in did fail. As a result, ShoWTimE was able to get his 4th base up and running, tech up in towards Skytoss. It was a bit of a late Skytoss transition with only 1 Stargate. True. So it was a little bit late. ShoWTimE, he was playing a little bit more conservative there when it came to his transition. But ShoWTimE, he did have a stronger follow-up there, just building up his army, massing up his immortals, but maybe did tunnel vision a little bit too hard, getting up to 11, 12 immortals, and as a result he had very little anti-air support for his Tempest. We saw like a 14 plus Corruptor switch. The Tempest were on their own. There were like 3 Stalkers on the ground and a couple of Storms, and the Corruptors just reset the Tempest count. That was like the big comeback moment for YoungYakov, was resetting all those Tempests. But unfortunately, as we pointed out, his Greatest Spire was too late. His Greatest Spire began after he killed all the Tempests, not before. So because of that, even though he killed all the Tempests, he had all these Corruptors, he couldn't really do anything with them. He still had his Lurkers, but the Mass Immortal was still the counter to the Lurker. Again, we needed those Broodlords that much faster after killing all the Skytoss, and again, we only saw the Broodlords defensively during the base trade. So they just hit a little bit too late there. But with that GG we played, with that ShoWTimE does take a lead in the series. Now we're going to be getting into game number 2, going to be loading into the Old Republic. Let's go. Looks like our players, they need a moment. Looks like the rest of the bracket is progressing, and oh my god, we already have some semi-finalists, Pappy. We already got some players in the semis. We'll get there. We will get there. As Björn is waiting for the winner of the series. Björn is waiting. So most likely we'll be just following the series into Björn. We'll see. We'll see who's available first. We'll see which matchup is ready. Whew. Okay, just catching up with the chat. I just seen the YouTube chat. You forgot to mention that if YoungYakov was capable of taking down the Omega, then maybe he has a chance to show that. True. If you can take down the Omega, then sky's the limit, back. Sky's the limit. You're not wrong. Not wrong. Este the Omega. Though ShoWTimE was done with the Tempest melted down, the Immortalings kept him alive. As we mentioned, like even though the Tempest count was reset, because the Greater Spire was so late, there were no Broodlords, and without Broodlords, YoungYakov couldn't actually press the advantage, right? Just because Lurkers are somewhat countered by just the sheer amount of Immortals that there were available. So a ground composition wouldn't cut it. Did need that sky composition, and by the time he got his Broodlords, I mean the base trade was occurring, if you recall. We're already trading bases, hatcheries were going down, Nexus going down. So unfortunately, just a little bit late when it comes to that tech transition. But regardless, we're getting into game 2. We're getting into game 2. Here we go, as we are going to be loading into the Old Republic. Our players just needed a moment. Going back in. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels, leading the series 1-0. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. Welcome to the Old Republic. It is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground, but unlike Winter Madness, I would say that the 3 and 4 base setup is more exposed and more vulnerable. I would say that all-ins do hit harder on this map compared to Winter Madness. It's a little bit surprising that YoungYakov did go for a 3 base all-in last game, but coming into game number 2, I will say that the 3rd and 4th bases are much more accessible. You can see how wide and open the entrance is here at the triangular 3rd base. Likewise, the 4th base options are less than ideal when it comes to defensive play, so we'll see. In my mind, this would be a better map for YoungYakov to all in. Otherwise, we could even see Spire play as well. but I'm a little bit concerned just because I'm not fond of going for an all-in 2 games in a row, right? Like when it comes to the greater series, like it's less than ideal. Are we going gases? Okay, no. Later gas. So hatch, pull into a slightly later gas geyser. Otherwise, standard opener. Just a slight variation. ShoWTimE just being as annoying as possible with that probe. Trying to force some inefficient mining. Jesus. Yeah, it does disrupt. From here, we're going to be settling in and we'll see our tech of choice. Based on the pylon location here, Stargate opener would make a lot of sense. As I mentioned before, I don't really expect to see ShoWTimE mix things up too much. We do see quite often players like Hero, players like Classic going Stargate into Void Ray, but I don't really think that ShoWTimE is one to really delve into that. But we'll see. When it comes to Twilight Council play and Glaive Adept play, that is something that ShoWTimE does delve into, not as an opener, but as a follow-up after the Stargate. If you recall, we casted ShoWTimE versus Raynor not too long ago, where ShoWTimE did force Raynor all the way to the ace match. I believe that was during the EWC, the Road to EWC qualifiers. Yeah, the last chance, like, European qualifiers, ShoWTimE versus Raynor went to the ace match, and we saw that ShoWTimE was able to bring Raynor down 3 different games with Glaive Adepts. It's crazy. Towards the end, he was like, I ran out of builds, baby. I just ran out of builds. And Raynor did win in the end, just barely. But ShoWTimE, he had a really good showing. But if he feels the need to, like, shows that he's willing to all in, he's willing to be hyper aggressive. As both adepts, they do hit the natural. Losing one of the adepts, the other does slip into the mineral line and gets one drone. Just the one though, nothing major. Yeah, gets one drone, nice control here by YoungYakov. Even kills the adepts. Okay, better trade, better defense out of our Zerg player. Losing one drone for 2 adepts. Behind this, ShoWTimE getting his 3rd. Oracles are in position. YoungYakov moves out to counterattack to apply some pressure at the 3rd base, but only a handful of lings. Only 3 Zerglings here for YoungYakov. He shouldn't achieve too much. He shouldn't get much damage. Behind this, going for his Twilight Council. A slightly earlier Council. Late Forge. Okay. With a delayed Forge like this, I mean, regardless of what it's going to be, it's going to be a little bit more committed, a little bit more aggressive. Later Forge, later upgrades. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Glaives, but we could go into Blink, into an 8 skates, 3 base Blink all in. True. Could go into early charge. Show us what you got. Glaives, okay. So going into Glaives. Very aggressive follow-up, and hey, this kind of goes in lines as to what we just said. We opened up talking about how ShoWTimE did go into Glaives quite often against Raynor. Again, that was, what, halfway through last year? And we're seeing it here as well. Stargate into 3rd base, into Glaive Adepts. Now, this is quite committed. It's not all in. Don't get this twisted. This is not an all in, but this is hyper aggressive. The downside is that you're delaying Blink, you're delaying Charge, you're delaying +1, delaying the Forge in favor of earlier economic damage. This has to get damage done. Otherwise, ShoWTimE will fall behind. If YoungYakov skips his Roach Warren, and he's going for +1 range, so he should be getting a safety Roach Warren soon. It's a little bit late, though. We're already past 5 minutes. Yeah, we're past 5 minutes here. If he skips his Warren, he might just die. No shot is just going straight. Okay, there we go. This is a 5:30 Roach Warren. Very late here. So it's going to be purely a Ling Queen defense. As more adepts have arrived, Glaives are now done. Yakov, he's in trouble. As Roachhorn is still halfway done. We have the Oracles to support. Stage trap behind the army. Shades into the mineral line. Oracle's move away. Ooh, stays on the Queens. And Queens get caught out. The boys are being pulled and drones are falling. As we mentioned, the Roach Horn was so late this game. No defensive roaches. The mineral line goes down, and that's going to be it. Yeah, that's going to be game. Critical damage here. GG gets called, and ShoWTimE pops off. ShoWTimE will claim the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations. ShoWTimE does advance on to the semifinals. Yakov, he was being greedy. He was cutting corners. As he mentioned, 5:30 Roach Horn is very, very late. Typically, you expect them at around 4:30, if not sub 5 minutes, just to be able to play safe, to get your roaches up just in case. But Yakov, he was cutting corners. I don't blame him. Traditionally, ShoWTimE is known for macro play, but I will say that over the past year, even longer than that, ShoWTimE has been one to show aggressive builds and more cheesy play at times as well. I was citing his previous series against Raynor, where he went Glaive Adepts and did beat Raynor 3 different games in that series with different builds involving Glaive Adepts, right? Like Glaive Adepts, they can catch you off guard, especially if you don't see them coming. GG, well played. With that, I mean, hey, you even caught Raynor off guard. But with that, GG, well played. With that, ShoWTimE does advance on to the next round, and let's catch up on the brackets. Let's go.